This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Friday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this February 14th.
May each of the 2,411 buried here, now and forever, rest in peace.
The emotional scene as hundreds attend a mass burial for fetal remains found in a doctor's garage.
Plus, it's been 3 years since Abby Williams and Libby German were found dead on a trail in Delphi, and the search for their killer continues. This morning, we're taking a look back at that investigation and what police want you to know.
And a Johnson County man is preserving his small town's history by turning something old into something new. Our Kelsey Anderson shows us how this idea is creating new life in his community. But first, we need to get a check of that Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. Todd Clausen is standing by. And boy, Todd, it is frigid out there this morning. We're not used to this.
No, you have to go all the way back to last March, so almost a year to find temperatures this cold. And we have gotten down to 5 degrees now here in Indianapolis, but it's even colder in some of the outlying areas. I told you yesterday that was likely going to fall below 0 in locations to the north where we have more snow on the ground. And look at this, Lafayette now down to -1 degree. We're right at 0 in Tipton, as well as Peru, slightly warmer, but still obviously frigid as you work your way down to the south. In Bloomington, you factor in the wind, and that wind really picked up yesterday afternoon, and your wind chill values range anywhere from -10 in Indy to -15 right now up in Peru. So bundle up as you walk out the door this morning. Try to limit your time outdoors this morning if at all possible. One of the ingredients for cold temperatures this time of year, a little snow on the ground, clear skies, and that's what we have as this air mass comes in. So it's definitely a cold Valentine's Day for us, but it's a sunny one. That's the good news. 14 degrees by the noon hour, with temperatures eventually up to right around 20 degrees. The better news is it's just a one-day deal. Tomorrow, temperatures back into the 30s. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a look right now at our Traffic Now maps. No crashes to report around your metro area. Planning out your drive, heading in from the east side, a 10-minute commute at this hour, westbound I-70 between Post Road and the North Split. So that is good news for east side drivers this morning. Let's take a look here from our INDOT traffic camera. This is on the northwest side, I-65 from the pedestrian overpass, a little north of 30th Street. You can see traffic there moving northbound and southbound is open, traveling up to speed. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any delays. Here at 5:02, today marks 3 years since the bodies of Abby Williams and Libby German were found in Delphi.
The teens were reported missing February 13th, 2017. Investigators say the girls were on a walk along the old Monon High Bridge when they were approached by a man. Their bodies were then found the next day. Now, 3 years later, the search for their killer continues. As the case remains unsolved, investigators want you to take a close look at this sketch. Investigators released this new sketch of a possible suspect last year. They say it is not a photograph, but a composite based on witness accounts. Investigators are asking for your help identifying the driver of a vehicle parked near the trail where Libby and Abby were last seen. If you have any information that can help solve this case, you are asked to call the tip line at 844-459-5786. You can also email tips. That information is on your screen. For all the details about this case, please head to the RTV6 app or the IndyChannel.com.
More than 2,400 fetal remains have been buried in South Bend. We first told you about the service earlier this week here on Good Morning Indiana. Now, last year, investigators found 2,246 fetal remains in the late Dr. Ulrich Klopfer's garage and vehicle. Klopfer ran a clinic in South Bend and performed abortions in nearby cities. Wednesday, hundreds of people gathered for this emotional service, some coming from out of state. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill was also in attendance. Investigators say there's no evidence any medical procedures were conducted at the doctor's property, but the investigation will take time to complete.
The 19-year-old accused of killing a prominent Indianapolis doctor has asked to withdraw his guilty plea. Devin Seats was scheduled to be sentenced Thursday in the 2017 murder of Dr. Kevin Rogers. Instead, he announced he's withdrawing his plea. Last month, the 19-year-old signed a plea agreement admitting to breaking into Dr. Rogers' home on the northwest side and killing him. If the judge accepts Seats' withdrawal, he would have to go to trial.
In Broad Ripple, an arrest has been made in an October murder. Police in Michigan arrested Curtis Baker on Tuesday, less than 10 miles north of the Indiana state line. He's charged in the October 3rd murder of Alfred Hayes. Hayes was shot and killed at Connor's Pub near 64th and Ferguson Streets in Broad Ripple. He worked at the Casbah Club as a security manager. Baker is charged with 1 count of homicide. He will be brought back to Indiana.
On the northeast side, a 27-year-old killed in a shooting Wednesday night has been identified. The victim, Lorez Brown. The shooting happened just after 7 at the Carriage House East Apartments at 42nd Street in Mithofer. Detectives believe the incident stemmed from a disturbance. They also tell us that this case is not related to last week's quadruple homicide that happened at a nearby apartment complex. If you have any information about either of these crimes, please call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
It's 5:05. An effort is underway on the northeast side to inspire young people and get them ready for the workforce. It's all part of a 2-week program at the Finish Line Boys and Girls Club. Power Huddle is all about shifting your mindset. Each participant creates a vision board outlining their goals for the future. They also have a tough conversation, including dealing with the violence in their neighborhood. All this while surrounded by mentors who want to see them succeed.
That makes me feel good because I really never had that, and I lost my mom at an early age, at 8 years old.
I did a lot of dirt when I was young, and now that I'm older, I want to change my life, and I want to show my family and other people who care about me and other people that's like me that, you know, we can change, we can still have opportunities.
After graduating the Power Huddle program, participants are enrolled in the Yes Indy system. There they are connected with a case manager to help them with their next steps.
Indianapolis police are launching a program with the goal of increasing the amount of businesses owned by women and people of color who work for the city. Mayor Joe Hogsett announced the launch of the GAP program Thursday. The city of Indianapolis is launching that is, not the police department. It will provide low interest or zero interest loans to businesses owned by minorities or military veterans. The goal is to help more minorities and veterans bid for and win contracts with the city and county government. Business owners say the loans will help with cash flow, which can get projects off the ground, especially for small businesses who bill with invoices.
How do I meet the cash flow challenges I have with my business in acquiring supplies or materials or just meeting payroll? How do you do those things? And often business owners and persons have to use personal credit, even to the point of credit cards and high interest loans that takes away from their profit margin once they do get paid.
The program will be run through the city's Office of Minority and Women Business Development.
At 5:07, the town of Trafalgar is a small one, and one man down in Johnson County is working to turn part of its unused history into a place where the community can gather and grow. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with his story. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So right now I'm in an old school cafeteria. This has been vacant for 4 years, but now it's the dream kitchen of James Lockard. So Lockard tells me one day he was running errands and came across a for-lease sign outside of Indian Creek Elementary School. That's when he had the idea to get in there and turn the old schoolhouse into his restaurant, his home, and a place for the community to gather. He tells me he's already been talking with people to see what they want out of this space.
We partnered with the Johnson County Library. They're going to be coming in, doing a bunch of programs for the smaller kids. And then a lot of people have been wanting to come in just to see the school because they either went here or their kids went here.
Lockard also plans to allow other entrepreneurs to rent out the unused classrooms so they can start on their own business ideas, no matter how crazy they might be. Now, this building is 67,000 square feet, and Lockard says the opportunities here are endless. Reporting live in Trafalgar, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Well, that is so cool, Kelsey. Thank you so much. For most of us, February 14th is Valentine's Day, but what could show love more than signing up to give the gift of life?
The holiday honoring St. Valentine is also National Organ Donor Day, and the need is great. More than 113,000 American men, women, and children were waiting for transplants last year. While about 95% of adults support organ donation, less than 60% are signed up to be donors. So today is a good chance to become a donor or talk to loved ones about the cause. And the need isn't just for organs. Donating 1 pint of blood can save 3 lives. All right, here at 5:09, Todd, it is a chilly one. I could not believe it when you said we have not seen temps this low since March of last year. I knew it's been a long time. But I didn't think it was that long.
You know, last month we got down to 9 degrees, so obviously that's cold, and we got down to 9 degrees once in the month of December as well. But you have to go all the way back till March 4th of 2019. The temperature got down to 2 degrees on that day, and we're sitting at 5 right now in Indianapolis. So it's been a very, very long time since we've seen temperatures this cold, and we'll stay right around 4 or 5 degrees for your morning commute, at least here in Indianapolis. Some areas this morning already below 0 up to the north. The good news is we'll have plenty of sunshine in the forecast throughout the day today. Just a few lingering clouds here to the northeast, and that is just about it. So as you plan out your Valentine's Day, just make sure you bundle up even this afternoon. It's a little warmer than it is now, obviously, but only in the teens in Kokomo as well as Noblesville. Mid-20s will be high temperatures in southern locations.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. The coronavirus not expected to go away anytime soon. Why health officials in the U.S. say they're preparing for worst-case scenario.
And the San Francisco airport is opening a new lounge perfect for selfie lovers and plane watchers. Details on the new Skydeck Lounge and when you can visit coming up.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
In Washington, the Senate has passed a resolution limiting President Trump's ability to go to war with Iran. All 47 Democrats and 8 Republicans, including Indiana Senator Todd Young, voted to pass the Iran War Power Acts. The measure limits the president's ability to use military action against Iran without approval from Congress. It comes after Trump ordered an airstrike that killed a top Iranian general. In response to that strike, Iran launched several missiles at an Iraqi airbase housing U.S. military members. More than 100 U.S. service members were injured in that strike. The resolution now goes to the House, where a similar measure already passed.
Iowa's Democratic Party chairman has resigned. Troy Price stepped down yesterday. His resignation comes after last week's botched caucus process left the party and the state reeling. Price quickly came under fire for the chaos, which caused the results to be delayed for several days. He initially defended the delay, but later apologized for the faulty reporting methods. He also took responsibility for them in his resignation. Price says he will call an emergency meeting of the State Central Committee Saturday to select an interim chair. That person will oversee the recanvass.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. As of this morning, there are more than 64,000 cases of COVID-19 across the world. That includes 15 Americans, and the CDC expects that number to rise. The agency says it's preparing for a worst-case scenario, a widespread outbreak of the coronavirus in the states, and that could last beyond this year. Health officials say the virus can be spread by people who aren't showing symptoms, making it hard to catch and treat initially. Patients who do test positive and are recovering are now speaking out, describing their experience.
One of the reasons why it's difficult to predict is because we still don't know much about the virus.
I think for the young and the strong, the disease is more like a heavy cold, only that it is highly contagious, so it causes panic.
The death toll from the virus is now at more than 1,300, and officials say there's a good chance the U.S. will see more cases in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, a pharmaceutical company in Utah is working to develop a kit to test for the coronavirus.
Officials in Japan say the coronavirus outbreak will not have an impact on the 2020 Olympics. The Summer Games are scheduled to take place in Tokyo beginning in July. Organizers confirmed Thursday there are no plans to cancel that event. The International Olympic Committee says they are working to take all necessary precautions for both athletes and visitors. A number of sporting events have already been impacted by the virus outbreak, including the Chinese Grand Prix and 2 LGPA events that were supposed to be held.
Things are heating up. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says it just recorded the Earth's hottest January on record. NOAA says January 2020 was the 44th consecutive January with temperatures above the 20th century average of 53.6 degrees. The agency also says Earth's 4 hottest Januaries have all happened in the last 4 years. Record warm temperatures were seen in Scandinavia, Asia, and Central and South America. In fact, there were no record cold temperatures for January reported anywhere in the world. And we had an awfully warm January, so I believe it, Todd.
You know, the first 16, 17 days were above normal here in central Indiana. What we wouldn't give for some above normal temperatures right now, though, right? As you walk out the door this morning, you're walking out to a temperature of 5 degrees in Indianapolis. The wind is out of the west-northwest at 10. That wind became pretty gusty yesterday afternoon, and that has driven in the colder temperatures, and we're factoring in some big-time wind chills this morning as well. 0 right now in Tipton as well as Peru. We've dipped down to -1 in Lafayette, where there's a little more snow on the ground. I wouldn't be shocked if some other areas here to the north this morning get down into the negative numbers before we slowly start to climb heading into the afternoon hours. You factor in those 10-mile-per-hour winds, and it feels like -10 in Indy, -15 is what it feels like to the north up in the Peru area. So just bundle up this morning. Can't emphasize it enough. You'll need the hat, the gloves, and all the warm weather gear you have to keep warm going throughout the day today. So wind chill values will stay in the negative numbers through at least 10 a.m. and then you see they start to moderate here, and it's always a good sign when that bar graph goes off the top of my graphic, because that means the temperatures are getting warmer. It'll feel more like 15 degrees at 4 p.m. with an actual high temperature today getting up to right around 19, 20 degrees. So it's clear right now, just a little cloud cover still lingering on the eastern side of the state. Part of that storm system that we dealt with yesterday, and back off to the west. It's pretty quiet, and we're actually going to get a dry weekend heading our way over the course of Saturday and Sunday. I don't think we've had a dry weekend where Saturday and Sunday we've had no precipitation in a long time. Your forecast here, I wish I could push it up into mild, warm, or toasty, but unfortunately we have to keep it on the frigid category here at that high temperature of 19. If you have plans with your loved one this evening, maybe heading out to dinner, just bundle up. It's not quite as cold as it is right now, but it'll be in the teens through the evening hours with skies that'll be mainly clear. And then tomorrow morning, temperatures get down into the single digits to the north, about 12 in Indy. So it's another cold morning to start your Saturday, but throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures moderate very, very quickly. That's the good news. So it's a very cold start. We get up to near normal for your high temperature. Saturday, 39, 40 is your normal high. And then Sunday, a mixture of sun and clouds with a high of 42 degrees. We'll keep the temperatures above normal for Monday. Could start off with a little bit of a wintry mix first thing Monday, but then with a high near 50 in the afternoon, all the precipitation will be mainly rain, and then still in the 40s for Tuesday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a look right now. Your commute up on the north side, I-465 over the White River. You can see traffic there still moving along up to speed. No problems this morning, so that is great news. Let's look here in Hamilton County on I-69 as you're traveling southbound this morning from State Road 13 to the I-465 ramps. It's a quick 13-minute drive, no delays. So let's take you over here to the downtown area. I-65 at the South Split. Traffic's picking up a little bit at this early hour, still traveling smoothly. We'll continue to keep you updated on any delays that might slow you down on your Friday.
A recall alert this morning. Tesla is voluntarily recalling some Model X vehicles because of a power steering issue. Most cars built before mid-October 2016 are affected. The issue involves corrosion on steering gear bolts. The company says that can make the driver use more force to turn the wheel. The corrosion mostly happens in very cold climates. Tesla says there won't be a service fee to fix any affected models. So far, no accidents or injuries have been reported.
It is 5:21. The San Francisco International Airport is opening a brand new multi-million-dollar lounge with views worth just as much. The all-new SFO Sky Terrace opens today. It offers breathtaking views with towering glass walls and an observation deck where you can watch planes take off and land. There are also several artifacts from the SFO Museum dating back decades. The Sky Terrace will be open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. No tickets or boarding pass are needed to enjoy the lounge. Pretty cool.
They say love don't cost a thing, but that is not the case for this Kansas man. We'll show you how he's taking the concept of online dating to an entirely new level and just how much he's willing to dish out to find that perfect date.
And only on RTV6, the families of 2 girls killed in Delphi are turning on their pain to purpose. At 6 o'clock, our Rafael Sanchez tells us how they're using their experience to help others. It's 5:22. We'll be right back here on Good Morning Indiana.
$259 a month at your local Volkswagen dealer.
They say love don't cost a thing, but that is not the case for this Kansas man. Jeff Gebhardt is offering $25,000 to anyone that can find him a girlfriend. The 47-year-old spent 6 months building a website in hopes of finding his one true love. Since launching last weekend, DateJeffG.com has gained national attention, even landing The Bachelor and People magazine. Jeff says if you find him a match, payments would be made over 5 years annually, starting the first year after he and any potential girlfriend make it official. He also says he'll donate an additional $25,000 to a no-kill dog shelter if things work out. All right, I gotta start racking my brain.
I know.
Who do I know that is single?
I know.
All right.
Oh,
all right. I'll have
guy.
to think about
God
that. So when is Date Todd K gonna launch?
It's like today.
Every day.
Oh,
who knows?
You heard it here first, ladies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you need someone to cuddle up with for Valentine's Day, I'm not offering you here. I was going to say today is the perfect day to find someone to cuddle with because it is painfully cold out there.
It is. You know, it's the coldest temperatures in nearly a year across central Indiana. Look at these numbers out there, especially to the north. -1 right now in Lafayette, 0 in Peru, 5 in Indianapolis. We'll go into some other locations to the north, -4 in Logansport. And the difference is where the temperatures are in the negative numbers, that's where there's a little more snow on the ground compared to downtown Indianapolis. 2 in Marion, and then as we go throughout the course of the day, we'll warm to a high right around 19 to 20 degrees. The good news is it's dry, it's bright, and it's sunny for this Valentine's Day. Tomorrow morning, back down to 12 degrees, but up to near 40 in the afternoon. Then temperatures stay above normal into next week. The time now is 5:27. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30, today marks 3 years since Abby Williams and Libby German were found dead in Delphi. We look back at that investigation as police continue to search for that killer.
And a Johnson County man is breathing new life into a piece of his small town's history. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us with how his idea is bringing that community together. But first, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast. It's a cold one out there, Lauren.
That's right. We have more than 40 school delays right now. Most of those, Todd, are in northern areas. Maybe it's residual stuff left on the roads from yesterday or just the cold weather. But what can people expect out there?
Yeah, you know, it's probably mainly the cold, I would imagine. But yeah, there certainly could be slick spots to the north where we hadn't saw a lot in the way of thawing yesterday or melting of the snow and ice. And then, of course, when the snow and temperatures dropped yesterday afternoon as that front came through, all the snow and the slush that's out there froze over once again. So school delays out there. Make sure you check with your district here before you get to the bus stop. And if you're heading to the bus stop, whether it's now or you're on a 2-hour delay, you just need to bundle up with the hat, the gloves, the heavy jacket, and you can have the sunglasses today. At least it's going to be a bright Valentine's Day for us. Temperatures at 0 degrees right now in Tipton as well as Peru, -1 in Lafayette. 8 is the current temperature in Bloomington. Indianapolis still staying at 5 degrees for the current temperature. You factor in the wind chill values as cold as -15 in Peru. -3 is what it feels like right now in Bloomington. So grab the hat, the gloves, and that warm coat. You warm up the car. You'll need to do that this morning as well. And watch out for some isolated slick spots, mainly on untreated roadways. All the main roads should be in good shape by this point, at least weather-wise. Throughout the day today, nothing but sunshine. Your noontime temperature right around 14 degrees with highs eventually climbing up into the 20-degree range. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on your roads this morning. Here's I-70 out near the airport. You can see traffic there is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound on your interstate. That's great news if you're heading out early this morning. Maybe you have one of those early flights or you're dropping someone off at the airport. You shouldn't have any problems on the roads. Let's plan out your drive. Taking a look here at some drive times. Good morning to you in Boone County. Heading southbound on I-65 this morning into the downtown area. It's a 21-minute drive from State Road 267 to the north split. No delays. Let's take a look in downtown right now. Here's what it looks like at the south split. I-65 and I-70. Traffic is picking up, as you can see, but everything is moving along up to speed.
Today marks 3 years since the bodies of 2 missing girls were found in Delphi. Abby Williams and Libby German were on a walk along the old Monon High Bridge On February 13th, 2017, when a man approached them, Libby was able to use her cell phone to videotape that person who is now considered to be the prime suspect in the case. At this point, no arrest has been made. Since the start of the investigation, police have received 40,000 tips. Investigators say their efforts are slowed when people share photos of others who are not the suspect on social media. These are the official images police want people to focus on. If you recognize this man, this person, you are asked to immediately contact law enforcement. Coming up at 6 o'clock, our Rafael Sanchez will sit down with Abby and Libby's families to talk about the girls' legacies.
The time right now is 5:33. Police are working to learn more about a deadly shooting on the east side of Indianapolis that happened last night. Investigators found a man with critical injuries on Sherman Drive near Washington Street around 7 p.m. He died later at the hospital. Police are still trying to figure out what led to that shooting, and they've not released any information yet on a suspect.
A Boone County pediatrician accused of committing sex crimes against children in his care has been found guilty. A jury convicted 42-year-old Dr. Jonathan Cavins of child molestation, sexual misconduct with a minor, and child seduction. The case came to light after a 12-year-old boy told his parents Cavins molested him during an examination. Later, 4 more victims came forward. Cavins will be sentenced at a later date.
The FBI is asking for help to track down this man. Take a look at your screen. They say he should be considered armed and dangerous. His name is James Taylor. He's 25 years old. He's wanted for violating his probation following the robbery of a pharmaceutical business and for a theft case in Marion County. The FBI says he's also wanted for questioning about a string of recent bank robberies. If you recognize this man or if you know anything about those cases, get in touch with Crime Stoppers today. You can also find a phone number for the FBI right now at theindychannel.com.
A new audit says 2 online charter schools owe the state of Indiana nearly $86 million. According to the report, the Indiana Virtual School and Indiana Virtual Pathways Academy inappropriately paid that money to companies linked to the school's founder or associates. Both schools were shut down in August after inflating enrollment numbers and wrongly receiving millions in state payments. The audit demands that the nearly $86 million be reimbursed to the state, although it's uncertain if any of it can be recovered.
It is 5:35. RTV6 hit the road to show you the state's latest efforts in curbing Indiana's high infant mortality rate. Call 6 Investigates has been covering this issue and holding top state officials accountable for months now, as Indiana ranks one of the worst states in the country for babies dying before their first birthdays. We traveled up to Fort Wayne in Allen County, which is the first of 20 counties to have an OB Navigator program. It was established there to connect at-risk pregnant women with critical prenatal services. The program finds and contacts women who are enrolled in Medicaid, and it connects them with providers and home visitation services like Healthier Moms and Babies.
Many of the moms that we serve are, maybe homeless, on the verge of homelessness. They could be in an unsafe and unhealthy relationship. They might have another child, but childcare is so expensive, rent is so expensive, and they're working a minimum wage job. Those are really factors that impact their pregnancy.
Last year, Healthier Moms and Babies received about 1,500 referrals from community partners. So far, they've received a handful of referrals from the OB Navigator. Madison, Delaware, Henry, and Grant counties are next in line for this program.
With summer concerts only months away, progress is being made as construction continues at White River State Park. The park has only had a temporary stage and portable restrooms since concerts first began in 2004. The first phase of construction is already done, which includes a ticket office and 60 permanent restrooms. Now they're working to build a stage and install 3,000 seats. Some people we talked with are excited, but others say they wanted more input in the improvements.
This is a world-class area, world-class venue. There's not being honored in that way. This looks more like a big box Costco type store.
So I'm from Hamilton County, so we have the Ruoff Home Mortgage Center up there, and that's a pre-built-in stage, and I've always loved going there. Concerts there are awesome, so I think bringing that down here, down to Indianapolis, will kind of open that invitation to people coming to more concerts.
We've asked the White River State Parks Development Commission whether there was any public input involved, but we are still waiting for their response. Construction is expected to wrap up in June, and the first concert is Bare Naked Ladies, scheduled for July 5th.
It is 5:37 here in the town of Trafalgar. It's a small one, and one man down there in Johnson County is working to turn part of its unused history into a place where that whole community can gather and grow. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with his story. Kelsey, good morning to you. This is really cool.
Hey, good morning. This is cool. So right now we're in Southern Comfort Cafe, but we're also in the old Indian Creek Elementary School. It's been vacant for 4 years, and this all started when Josh Lockard had a crazy idea.
If I'd known that this was the way it was going to be, I'd have said, hey, do it a long time ago.
This is one of many happy customers at the Southern Comfort Cafe, which isn't where you'd think it'd be.
The whole entire school is empty. Wouldn't it be awesome if we did a restaurant here and put my home in it?
So that's exactly what James Lockard did. Now he works and lives here at Indian Creek Elementary.
Has anyone told you that you're nuts?
A lot of people.
I kind of told them, I said, don't move, don't move.
But he did move, and now the cafe downstairs draws in locals who used to roam the halls as students.
We have one guy that comes in and talked about smoking in the boys' room, of course. And Joe, he was the principal. He knew exactly who it was when I told him. He said, oh, yeah, he got in trouble for that a lot.
But he doesn't just work here. He's also moved his family in. He's converted classrooms into bedrooms and even has a full kitchen upstairs. But it's not just about him. The stories he hears from the past are what keeps the community at the forefront of this project.
We're not one of them companies that's going to come in and just tear the place down just to benefit us. We actually want to be here to benefit the community, too.
Lockard plans to open up the gym as an event space, and the extra classrooms, rental spaces for other entrepreneurs to get a jump start on their own ideas, even if they're as crazy as his.
We can work together and kind of, you know, make your dream come true as well.
James Lockard has only been in this building since the first of the year, and he says the opportunities are endless for this 67,000 square foot building. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. The time now is 5:39. As you walk out to your car this morning, you're walking out to temperatures that are in the single digits. You'll have to warm your car up this morning before you get going. Of course, don't leave your car running in the driveway and then go inside. You have to stay with it. Temperatures will be in the single digits here throughout the morning commute, but your windshield wipers will not have to be going, as we'll have clear skies for your morning commute and your evening commute, for that matter. It's going to be a bright Valentine's Day. These are not actual temperatures. These are your real field temperatures when you factor in the wind. Now, the wind's going to die down as the day goes on. That's the good news. But as we push into the noon hour, wind chill values are still going to be in the single digits as actual temperatures climb up into the teens. And then eventually, by the time we get to 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the winds relax enough that the actual temperatures and the wind chill values will be very, very similar. Fast forward to tomorrow morning, we're talking about wind chills in the single digits, which is obviously still very, very cold, but there's no negative signs in front of the numbers, which we currently have. That is good news. Saturday is eventually going to be up close to 40 degrees, believe it or not. So it's just a quick hit of Arctic air. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
America's still not ready to elect a gay guy.
Rush Limbaugh under fire after comments he made about Democratic candidate for president Pete Buttigieg's sexuality. Coming up, how members of both parties and President Trump are responding to those comments.
And Honda is recalling hundreds of thousands of minivans. Still ahead, why they say models of the Odyssey are a fire hazard. It's 5:41. We'll be right back.
Tesla, show more of you.
Conservative talk show host Rush Limbaugh is drawing criticism from both sides of the aisle after he said the country won't elect Democratic candidate Pete Buttigieg because it's not ready for an openly gay president. Democratic candidates and even President Trump responding to the host's remarks. On his radio show, Limbaugh began talking about how he thinks Democrats are concerned about their frontrunners and pointed a finger at Buttigieg.
And they got to be looking at that, and they've got to be saying that despite all the great progress and despite all the great wokeness and despite all the great ground that's been covered, America's still not ready to elect a gay guy kissing his husband on the debate stage president.
Buttigieg has finished near the top of the first two primary contests in Iowa and New Hampshire. Fellow Democratic candidate Joe Biden came to the former South Bend mayor's defense, saying he has honor and courage. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham also responded, saying he doesn't think a candidate's sexual orientation would hurt his or her chances. When asked if Americans would vote for a gay president, President Trump told Fox News he would be open to it, saying, quote, "I think there would be some that wouldn't, but I wouldn't be among that group. It doesn't seem to be hurting Pete Buttigieg," end quote.
It is 5:46. President Trump's national emergency declaration at the U.S. border with Mexico will stay in effect for another year. That extension was released in a document submitted by the White House. The declaration unlocked billions of dollars in federal funds to build a wall on the southern border, bypassing Congress. National emergencies typically expire after 1 year, but the White House can submit a document to the Federal Register to continue it.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is remaking parts of its coronavirus test kits that were shipped to several states. According to the CDC, many of the kits produced inconclusive results. Not all states that received kits are affected, but those that were have to wait to resume testing until the new kits are shipped out. The CDC did not say how long that process could take. Here at 5:46, I want to know how long we are going to be sitting in single-digit temps, Todd.
We'll probably be in the single digits for another few hours. Then eventually we'll climb through the teens. And by this afternoon, we're up to near 20 degrees. The city finally looks really nice on our shot here on the RTV6 Weather Now camera from the pagoda, looking back to the east towards downtown. The past couple days, we've had the snow, we've had the rain, the low overcast sky. City looks good. Doesn't feel too good out there, though. 5 degrees. That's the current temperature right now. Coldest temperature we've seen since the beginning of March of last year, at least for the city of Indianapolis. West-northwest wind at 10 miles per hour this morning, and that's putting wind chill values down in the negative numbers for everybody. The actual temperature is down to -1 in Lafayette, 4 in Martinsville, 5 is the current temperature in Greenfield, and a couple goose eggs there in Peru as well as Tipton. For the actual temperature, here's what it really feels like: -15 up in Miami County in Peru, -10 is what it feels like in Indy, and even Bloomington to the south. You're in the negative numbers this morning as far as wind chills go. So just bundle up, give yourself some extra time. Try to limit your time outdoors, at least for a few hours this morning, until the sun can start to warm things up. You notice we're to 14 degrees for your noontime temperature, and then your 4 p.m. temperature is 18. Our high today probably going to be right around the 20-degree mark, and if you have plans this evening, you'll definitely need to bundle up. The skies are clear, though, so at least you don't have to worry about any precipitation throughout the day today. Of course, be careful walking on some sidewalks. I was walking around yesterday, and some people clean their sidewalks, some people don't, and if they didn't, there's going to be a layer of ice on there because any rain or snow that we saw the other day is completely frozen with these temperatures that we're dealing with. But back off to the west, it's pretty clear, and we have no storms heading our way until Monday. So your evening plans tonight, mainly clear. Temperatures will not be this warm. The model didn't update itself. 15 degrees is more like it by 9 p.m. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to see temperatures that are going to be in the single digits to the north, 12 in Indy, 16 in Bloomington and Columbus. So your Saturday gets off to a very, very cold start. The difference is, though, throughout the day tomorrow, unlike today, we're going to warm very, very quickly. So we're up to 39 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Sunday, the clouds increase throughout the day, but look at that, back up to 42. So this is a very quick shot of Arctic air that's in place for the day today. Once we head into Monday, yeah, I have snow to rain there. The snow potential is right at the onset of that, but we go over to all rain very quickly as the temperature surged to near 50 degrees by Monday afternoon, and then we're still in the 40s on Tuesday. Next week, with the exception of that storm on Monday, overall looks to be fairly quiet. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Keep in mind we have several school delays right now. Those are listed on the RTV6 app and scrolling at the bottom of your screen. As you're heading out the door here, though, near the metro area, no problems on the roads. If you're traveling westbound on I-74 from North London Road to the I-465 ramps, only a 9-minute commute this morning, so no issues there. Let's take a turn up to the north side of town, I-465 near Keystone Avenue, where traffic is picking up this morning, both eastbound and westbound. Traveling smoothly. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads, and we'll keep you updated if you need to reroute.
An alert this morning for Honda owners. The company is recalling Odyssey minivans, saying that they're a fire hazard. The recall affects more than 200,000 vehicles from 2018 to the current model. Honda says the danger is in a potentially faulty power outlet in the third row. Damaged wiring could cause a short circuit circuit and lead to a fire. Honda says it is aware of 3 fires caused by the outlet, but no injuries have been reported. The recall is expected to begin mid-March, and repairs are free of charge.
Nintendo is offering busy travelers a chance to break away for a little video game fun, that is. Several major airports will be offering free Nintendo pop-up lounges with comfortable seating and charging stations for your phones. Travelers can also spend time playing Nintendo Switch systems while awaiting their flight. The lounges will be available at Washington, D.C.'s Dulles, Seattle's Tacoma, Dallas's Love Field, and Chicago's O'Hare International Terminal. Nintendo's on-the-go lounges are now open and will only be available through the end of March.
It is Valentine's Day, and it's one of the busiest days of the year for flower shops. After the break, how one local shop owner is preparing for those who wait until the last minute. We'll be right back.
And only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Love is in the air this Valentine's Day. Heartfelt expressions will be made through cards, candy, jewelry, even flowers.
Rafael Sanchez reports on who's most likely to wait until the last minute on this big day.
Jim Myrick's day will blossom with dozens of deliveries and last-minute callers.
Men wait until the very last minute to place their orders.
Why do men wait? It's every year on the same day, right?
I know it is. But
I think the 14th, right?
I believe that they feel that it's just another day.
This is the day when flowers and their petals are petaled as the official way to show endearment, begin a relationship, or save one. Are roses the top?
Roses are still at the top of the list.
This Franklin florist has plenty of those. It is cooler, as you can see, and a variety of others for a bouquet on demand. His shelves are loaded with the first wave of orders destined to make a love connection. And he warns that this Friday in February is not one to forget.
No makeup day for Valentine's Day.
It's the 14th.
14th.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, that is your reminder.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Yes. The owner of Bud and Bloom says since he owns a flower shop, his wife prefers a nice Valentine's Day card.
Oh, I prefer a Valentine's Day card, too.
I do, too.
And a nice, written note.
It's easy to go buy flowers. Sometimes it's hard to express in words how you feel about someone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we
Giving Todd all
adore
the tips.
this guy, and he puts up with a lot of us year-round. Not just on Valentine's Day when we're teasing him about making a dating website for him.
On there, you should hear what happens when we're not on the air with these two.
Oh, okay.
Especially the blonde one. All right. Out there. Temperatures are in the single digits here. 5 in India as well as Muncie. It's 7 in Bloomington. Storm Team 6 radar is nice and quiet this morning. Your major concern is just the cold temperatures. And you see there, that's the update that's coming in at 6 o'clock. Changed live for you. Down to 4 degrees now in Indianapolis. Bundle up. Despite the cold start, we get up to 20 this afternoon with partly cloudy skies. So it's a dry Valentine's Day. It's just a very cold one, but warmer temperatures do return tomorrow. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Today marks 3 years since the deaths of Abby and Libby in Delphi. Beyond hope, what the families are sharing on this day. That story next on RTV6.